Hey, what's up, Good Life? Thanks for joining me for today's 128 moment. Hopefully you're able to join us last Sunday as we wrapped up our I Am series by looking at that final I Am statement of Jesus. The statement where Jesus said that He is the vine and we as His followers are the branches, and that unless we abide in Him, we can do nothing. We talked about how every human is either one of two things. They're either abiding in Christ or they're on their own. They're either saved or they're unsaved. That there is no in between, there is no gray area. It's one way or the other. But after addressing that eternal reality, we also confronted the question of whether those of us who are saved are actually growing. Are you more like Jesus today than you were a decade ago, a year ago, maybe even a month ago? Are you building a life that looks more and more like Jesus? Now, addressing that very question, the Apostle Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, he says this, "For no one can lay a foundation other than that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, if anyone builds on the foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each one's work will become manifest. It will be revealed, for the day will disclose it, because it will be revealed by fire. And the fire will test what sort of work each one has done. If the work that anyone has built on the foundation survives, he will receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned up, he will suffer loss, though he himself will be saved, but only as through the fire." Man, there's a lot going on in that passage. But there's a friend of mine, a guy named Adrian Depray. He's an evangelist. And preaching on this passage, he put it this way. He says that your life as a Christ follower is producing either sticks or bricks. That a life connected to Christ and focused on making much of Christ, that is a life that is built with gold, silver, and precious stone, bricks that will be revealed by the fire. And a life that is connected to Christ but focused on making much of yourself, that is a life that is built with wood, hay, and stubble, sticks that will be consumed by the fire of standing before the glory of Christ on Judgment Day. Leonard Ravenhill, the great preacher and evangelist from the 20th century, he shared a conversation that he had with A.W. Tozer. And Tozer told Ravenhill this. He said, "We'll hardly get our feet out of time into eternity. That will bow our heads in shame and humiliation. We'll gaze on eternity and say, look at the riches that were in Jesus Christ, and I've come to the judgment seat almost a pauper." This passage is talking about Christ followers, and Paul is telling the Corinthian church and us that one day every Christ follower will stand before Jesus. Do you want to be standing before Him among a pile of gold, silver, and precious stones, treasures that you'll offer back to Jesus as an act of worship? Or do you want to be standing in a pile of ashes because your life was too focused on now instead of eternity? Too focused on you instead of Jesus? Jesus said, "I am the vine," and that we are His branches, and that apart from Him, you and I can do nothing. But if we are abiding in Him, saved and growing and sold out to know Him and to make Him known, then we'll live every aspect of our lives in the presence of God and for the purposes of God. So, Good Life, is your life producing sticks or is your life producing bricks? A great next step for answering that question is joining us this Sunday as we begin our new sermon series called Abide, practical tools for living out a profound truth. And through this series, we're going to look at tried and true ways that the church through the centuries has actively abided in Christ. The practical things that you and I can do today to make sure we are always living and growing to know Jesus and to make Him known, to build our lives with gold, silver, and precious stones. So please invite a friend to join us at 9:30 and 11 here at the church, 11 o'clock online as we start that new series. And until then, hey, Good Life, let's go be a people who will love enough